Back at it on Hitting Hard with John Chuckery on Locked On Sports Atlanta, reminding you, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Just go on YouTube and put it in the browser, Locked On Sports Atlanta. You'll find us there. Hit the subscribe button. Follow me on Twitter at JMCH316. And we do ask you to check out the podcast also on all of your favorite audio platforms, including Odyssey. We continue to talk about the big win last night for the Atlanta Hawks as they blow out the Charlotte Hornets 132-103 last night. And there was a moment, though, that was, I don't know, disgusting, didn't need to happen. That involved Miles Bridges. So after Bridges has a goaltending call on him, and he gets a technical and gets ejected from the game, as he's walking off the court last night, he takes his mouthpiece out, and there's a guy that's standing there that's doing the, bye-bye, that kind of thing, bye-bye symbol. And that's literally all he was doing, was just going like this, didn't throw anything at him or any kind of crazy thing like that. Bridges takes his mouthpiece off and he throws it where he intended to throw it at the guy, but he hit this little girl that was like, I don't know, one or two people over from the guy that he was throwing it at. And it was just a disgusting display. They showed the mouthpiece laying on the ground. Somebody took a video of it or whatever like that. Look, I know that he came after the game and he went on Twitter and he apologized and he said, find me that girl. I want to make it up to her and all. Okay, that's fine. But and Bridges is about to get paid a crap ton of money. Like Charlotte's about to give him a whole bunch of money to stay there. But if that's how you act in a loss and you're a professional, that was just disgusting. Like, there was no reason for that. I don't want to hear about your emotions got the better of it. You're a paid professional athlete, okay? And you're in a, I don't want to say hostile, but you're in a rough and rugged road environment that, yeah, it's amped up from a regular season, from a Tuesday night in January. It's a more amped up environment, but that's what you're a professional for. You want to go in your you want to walk off the court, go in your locker room and whatever, tear down posters, kick benches over, break bottles, whatever it is that you want to do. Hey man, go for it. Do your thing. But to pull your mouthpiece out and throw that at somebody and then you hit a little girl with it. And again, nothing happened to the little girl. It's a mouthpiece, for God's sakes. If I was a little girl, by the way, I'd have been like, that episode of Seinfeld when they hocked the loogie at, what was it, Kramer, when he got hit with that loogie. I'd have done that like Travis Darno did. I'd have done like the whole body motion thing and I'm falling over, and make it look like a whole big deal and all that kind of stuff, after I got hit with the mouthpiece or whatever like that, because, he probably would have picked up a little bit of cash or whatever for it. But that was disgusting. There was no reason for that to have taken place. And, that was not a good symbol for the Charlotte Hornets. And, I know they tried to use last night. Their motivation was, the bus got held up by the train, going around where Stats is and going underneath all that. And we got delayed and all that. Just missed me with all that kind of stuff. The Hornets had no business being there. The Hawks really took it to them. And the Hawks certainly last night played about as complete a game as you could ask them to play out there. And now you move on to Cleveland, where, look, the Cavaliers are not playing well right now. And this is sort of the way we set itself up to be a good thing for the Hawks of start these play-in games at home and get a big home win, and then you're playing a team that just lost. And we'll break more of this down probably tomorrow, but if Trae Young can kind of match the way, or every time Cleveland tried to get back into that game the other night against Brooklyn, you saw Irving hit a big shot, and Irving started out 12 for 12 from the field. You can do that with Trae Young. You get a lead early, and you have to have them fight, come back in that thing. This is where you're going to need Trae tomorrow night. This is where you're going to need a big game out of Trae. Just not even so much from the volume of scoring, but from being able to consistently hit your shots. At the end of the day, Trae Young still, after his 1-for-9 start last night in the game, he finished 8 for 24 from the field and was only 1 for 7 from three-point line. So he didn't shoot the ball well at all, but he did hand out 11 assists. And like I said, he got Capella going early in that game. He had a couple of, had the alley-oop to Capella. He had some things going where he got some of the other guys involved in it. But I do think Friday night they are going to need Trae Young to shoot the ball much better to advance, because Again, we'll have to believe it. We'll believe it when we see it that the Hawks can go out on the road and match that defensive intensity. But their mantra that they keep coming up with is this is what we've been waiting for, right? And they said it before the game, they said it after the game, that now it's, they look at it as now it's playoff time. Now it's time to get the intensity cranked up. And we saw that on display. Can they do that in back-to-back nights, or back-to-back games, I should say? I think so. I mean, there's no reason for me to doubt the postseason acumen or the mindset that the Hawks have, between last year and this year. I don't know if the Hawks are going to end up on the same kind of Eastern Conference Finals run that they had last year, but certainly from a mindset standpoint, it was different and it felt different last night. And right now they've got their chemistry going and they've got their things going the way that they need to. It just feels like that they're ready to get themselves on a roll. And remember, it's going to be a little bit before the Hawks get back, into Atlanta. If they beat Cleveland and they start, with the Miami Heat, it's going to be a week from tomorrow before they're going to have their first home game. So you got to beat Cleveland, then you immediately get on the road and you head down Easter Sunday to play the Miami Heat. And then I think the next game is on Tuesday after that. So, you're going to have to spend some time on the road and you're going to have to keep that intensity up over these next few days. It's just, and people were asking me last night on my show when we were on after the game about, why the Hawks, put themselves in. I don't know. But what I do know is this: we're past all of that. There's nothing we can do to change what the Hawks did or did not do this regular season. There's nothing we can do now to fix all of that. This is their lot in life, and this is the spot that they found themselves in. So if they can turn up the volume and they can flip that switch when it's playoff time, cool. And what will also be interesting is, and I brought this up last night, let's say the Hawks make a run to the Eastern Conference Finals and John Collins doesn't play. Say he doesn't play at all. What do you think the mindset of the fan base is going to be? Let me tell you what you're going to hear, and I'm 100% going to guarantee you this already. They make a run to the Eastern Conference Finals again, and they do it without John Collins. You're going to start to hear fans talking about, we need to trade him. We need to move on from him. See, we can win and get to the Eastern Conference Finals without him. Just think if we had another star to go along with Trey, and he's holding things back. So this will be a fascinating sub-story, side story to this playoff run that the Hawks are trying to get themselves in. Because if they can advance through the playoffs and they do it without John Collins, boy, it's going to really – you think people were mad at Freddie Freeman for what happened and the way it got handled with not being with the Atlanta Braves? People are going to be all over John Collins in this offseason about trade him, move on from him. He's not worth the money that we paid him. Use that money and help get a star player in here. I don't think the Hawks want to move on from John Collins, but you're going to have a big fan sentiment out there that if they run this thing back into the Eastern Conference Finals without him, oh boy, people are going to, if there were people on the train for John Collins, they are going to jump off very, very quickly. You're going to see the momentum swing, that pendulum swing quite a bit of, okay, he's here, we need to run it back, and then it's going to be, wow, we're winning without him, we need to move on from him. So watch that sub-story. That's going to be fascinating to see what the Hawks do, but they'll get back in action coming up tomorrow night in Cleveland. All right, when we get back on Hitting Hard with Jon Chuckery, if you wanted a peek into the mindset of the Dodgers and why they don't always succeed in the postseason, I think yesterday was a perfect example of all that. It's Hitting Hard with Jon Chuckery on Locked On Sports Atlanta.